Good morning, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to another The Next Level Live. This week, we are going to get started looking at December 4 week numbers. In December week 4, we hit 6,238,000, which brings our December month-to-date in volume at 36,756,000, and our 2023 year-to-date in volume at 501,257,000. Moving on to our agent recognition segment this morning. This week, our agent spotlight featured Esther Knight with FFL Knights. Esther is being recognized for recently helping 22 families. Great work, Esther. This week, our convention testimonial featured Sierra Hunter with FFL Gladiators. She is being recognized as a first-time Hall of Famer. Fun story about her, when she was at convention last year, she held up a sign saying, "Give me 10K and I will reach Hall of Fame," and she pulled through. She reached Hall of Fame. So great work, Sierra. We're so proud of you. We have 8 members to induct into our Personal Production Hall of Fame today. A big congrats to first-timer Kendall Kane with FFL Trident Life. Congrats to first-timer Daniel Gaines with FFL Trident Life. Big congrats to second-timer Richie Crahall with FFL Launch Agency. Congratulations to third-timer Michael Pasco with FFL Mountain East. Big congrats to first-timer Danielle Newton with FFL Believe. Congratulations to first-timer Jeremy Lewis with FFL Precision. Big congrats to third-timer James Cheerio with FFL Living Hope. And congrats to first-timer Urshad Abdulmajid with FFL Onyx. Great work, everyone.
All right, guys, Happy New Year. Thanks for jumping on TNL Live. Thanks for jumping on Pressure Point. What I want to communicate to you right now is really simple, really straightforward. What I love about this business is what I hope you understand makes it so great. When you find an opportunity like this, like the year just started, and what I loved about it when I got my license in 08 was I started looking at other people that have been doing it 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And I remember a guy said to me, he said, "You know what's great? You can have a better year than any or all of them." And I thought, no, I don't think that's true because I just started. Like, I don't know that that's true. And he said, no, financially you can, because the reality is, Sean, you can go sell as much as you want. You could outsell them. You could sell more than everybody. I think it took me the first year. The second year, I was #1 salesperson in the entire company. And I was like, all right, he's like, you can go out there and outsell them if you want to. I said, how do I do that? He goes, just run more appointments, buy more leads, which actually did work. That's all I did. Run more appointments, bought more leads than they did. And then I beat them. You know, you're like, you're really good. I'm good at buying leads and run. I am good at it because I worked really hard at it because I ran thousands of appointments and made me good at it. But I took his advice before I was good at it. Secondly, he said, put in width, and it's all about spread. So even if they've been around longer, whatever comp they have, it's all spread anyway. He said, so spread, like you can go ahead and make as much, if not more, than everybody here. And I was like, wow, that's pretty amazing. So it really hit me that what I loved about the business, I could build it with my sweat equity. Meaning I could literally sell as much as I wanted, pay my bills, take care of my kids, and then put it back in the business. And if the business needed something new the following month, or I was going to hire a new staff, or I was going to rent a new office, I could go sell twice as much. And I was like, dude, this is a pretty badass formula right here because all I have to do is go ahead and start doing these things. And for me, it was life-changing. So as you look at where you're at walking into this year, and what you want out of it. First of all, what you focus on will grow. So I'm pointing this whiteboard. You can't see it's behind me or behind you, but your goals. I can see $1 billion, 2024. I see how many agents we're going to recruit a week, 1,000. I see how many Hall of Fame producers we have in 2024, 1,000. Like I can see all those numbers. Do you have something you look at on a daily basis? How much will you sell this year? How many people will you recruit? What will your team volume be? First month, second month, third month, fourth month, fifth month. And don't ever think that just because you just started, or maybe you started 2 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe you've been with us since the day we started, and you're like, it's not been what I wanted it to be. The beautiful thing now about 2024 is 23 don't really matter. And actually that kind of goes both ways. Even if you crushed it, like, okay, but you still have to go to work. So I think the beautiful thing about business in general is that you can change it whenever you decide to. and you're going to be discerned by people on how you're doing based on how you're doing now, based on what you do tomorrow, the next day, every day forward that you can control. So I hope that makes sense. Hope 24 is your best year in business ever. Appreciate you jumping on. Now here's our next level live training, and thank you for tuning into this. I know it'll help change your business life.
All right, guys, today on Inside the Sale, we got my man Tyler Adams with us. How we doing, Tyler?
Good, brother. Appreciate you having me here, man.
Joining us, dude.
It's the first time at headquarters.
Yeah. Is your first time in Connecticut?
Not in Connecticut.
No, you've been up here before?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Just a little chilly, but other than that, it's great.
It is. But we're going to talk about some fun stuff today. So Tyler's a Hall of Fame agency, annuity, and producer. So, but what we're talking about today is some recruiting stuff. We've been really heavy on telesales process here lately on TNL, which is great, but you can have all those processes, but if you've not recruited agents to participate in them, what's the point, right?
You got to have the workforce.
You got to.
Right.
How many agents last month do you know helped at least one family in your group?
I think we had it was 386.
386.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, and why do I tell you that? Because he's qualified to talk to you about recruiting, because he's got almost 400 agents. So talk to me a little bit about your recruiting efforts right now, and then I guess in your mind, what is the key to recruiting someone here at FFL?
I think the biggest thing is understanding, because most people are intimidated to recruit. They think that they have to have it all figured out before they recruit. But I think we have so many resources here, dude, and so many people that want to help the team win, right? Yeah. That you just need to get out there and start talking to people. And I think that's the biggest thing, is just getting out there, talking to people, whether it be in person, whether it be we're in a world of technology, right? Facebook, Instagram, there's so many different ways to recruit. Just go into Instagram and hit hashtag insurance or life insurance, hit search. You're going to have millions of agents pop up that are selling insurance, or that are in insurance, or are in a different kind of insurance. And I think we have a product that has 100% usage rate. And what I mean by that is, not everyone's going to get in a car crash for car insurance, right?
Right.
Not everyone is going to have cancer for a cancer policy. Everyone in this room is eventually going to pass away.
Right.
So a product we have, everyone needs.
Yep.
Every walking, breathing human with a pulse is going to eventually need this. So the demand is there, the need is there. It's our job to get the people and make them understand that talking about it doesn't have to be morbid. Mm-hmm. It's an easy process if you do it the right way.
Right.
And how that we've evolved with the telesales over since 2020, we adapted, right? And we went from a huge IMO of belly-to-belly people to an IMO of essentially overnight of being a telesales sales force giant in the industry. So I think that we have the resources to recruit. It's just you have to get out there and you have to talk to more people and make it fun, and don't make it about you.
Yeah.
Right?
Did you wait to recruit initially?
I waited too long, man.
Yeah.
That's my biggest regret. I came in and I thought I had to have proof of concept before people would take me seriously or give me validity, which I do think that there is an importance, a very big importance, of you being able to do it yourself.
Sure.
But you don't have to do it for a year. If you come in and you're producing and you're helping, 20 families a month, dude, why not?
Right.
Why not get other people involved and say, dude, this is how I'm helping families. This is how it's changing my life. You want to hear about it.
I think the idea of these numbers get skewed a little bit, because you said this in the past. We have a lot of top producers here, right? You've helped
Tons.
over 400 families in a year.
Yeah.
Right. And to your point, 20 families a month sometimes seems like small compared to everything else, but that's 20 families you're placing life insurance on, especially if you're new. There's a lot of other companies in our industry where that's not the norm.
No.
Maybe 3 families a month is the norm. So to your point, you don't need to be Hall of Fame, helping 1,000 families a year to recruit someone into this industry. A lot of the guys you're talking to are either helping no families or a couple here and there.
Well, and I think that this is not like a cookie cutter, one size fits all business, dude. I have agents that are stay at home moms that, if they help 5 families a month, they're happy.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Sure.
My biggest flaw when I first started recruiting is I was a new agent, a couple months in, helping, anywhere from 40 to 60 families a month. I expected every agent to help 40 to 60. Like that was my expectation.
Right,
like, listen, if you're going to work with me, you're going to do what I do, say what I say, and you're going to help 40 to 60 families. And it was a train wreck.
Yeah. And you're mad at them because they're not living up to a bar that you set for them.
And you can't do that. You got to meet people where they're at. And like I said, me and you were talking earlier, you can't chase people. You can't be like Captain Save an Agent, like we talked about, right? You can't be constantly you need to be very good at cutting bait and moving. You hire a bunch of people, but your gut is telling you if they're going to put in the effort or not.
Right.
If they're calling you constantly to complain or to need you to talk them off a ledge, that is an agent that you need to cut ties with and move on to one that wants to do this. Like, I'm not trying to sound whatever, but I am not your Dr. Phil. Like, I'm here to give you guidance, give you direction, give you processes, give you leads, a sales script, and then we're checking in. But when you check in, I want to know how many dials you made. I want to know how many people you've talked to, how many no's you've gotten. And if you're like, well, I've been on the phone all day. Well, I'm not sure. Okay, well, when you figure that out, call me back.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to be harsh, but if you want to scale and grow at a hard level, you got to be good at cutting loose and trimming the fat. And there's going to be a lot of pretenders that, like you said, everyone says, oh, I got a guy. I got a guy,
everyone
right?
has a guy, yep.
Everyone has a guy. Don't get excited about it.
Right.
Like, don't tell him that you're not excited. Be like, all right, cool. Well, let's get him on a call. Let's get him started. Let's get him starting to get licensed, and we'll see how he does.
Right. How do you know when to cut bait?
Dude, you just know. Like, how do you know when to break up with your toxic girlfriend or boyfriend?
Well, some people don't.
All right, so
for you,
this is true.
Yeah.
All right, I say that when someone is taking more than they're giving, right? Again, it's not something that you can tangibly hold.
Yeah.
But it is transactional of how much time am I going to give this person for how much effort they're going to give me.
Right.
And if you find yourself calling, hey, what are you doing? Are you making your dials? Why haven't you dialed the leads I got you? Why haven't you done this? You need to cut bait. Like, they're not bought in.
Right.
And again, you can't be mad at them.
Sure. Yeah, so what's cutting bait for you? Because some people hear that and they go, "Oh, screw you! You're not doing that." So when you cut bait, what's that look like?
Again, that's getting emotional.
Right.
Like when you take the emotionality out of this business, it makes your life a lot easier, and you're not feeling like you're having a brain aneurysm all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I used to try to treat every agent like they were myself, and it was so emotionally and mentally taxing. And when I figured out to take that away from it. And again, I said this to you before, it's not a flat line, right? Like, it is a gradually increasing line of effort that you give your agents. You don't want to be up and down this business. You don't want to be emotional. You don't want to be a flat line. If someone's giving you effort, you want to give them a gradual increase line of time, effort, resources. And I'm big on pairing them up with someone now that I've been blessed enough to have a larger agency. Yeah. If I have someone and I feel like we don't vibe, right? I'm thinking about, hey, who do I have that they are going to vibe well with, and I partner them. And I make it beneficial for everybody.
Right.
And I don't make it about me. Like, if I'm part of a problem, I'm going to take myself out of that equation and put them with someone that's going to help them elevate to their fullest potential, if that's not me.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's a big one, is so many people that are agency owners, they just want it to be all about them. Every training to be their face. Every single thing that they consume to be them as the ultimate authority. Dude, you're not the face of insurance.
No.
You don't run life insurance. You're not like the god of this industry. None of us are, right? None of us. Sean's never said, hey, I'm the god of insurance.
No.
He runs the largest IMO in the country, but he's like, look, there's been multiple times I've called Sean, and Sean's like, dude, honestly, I don't know. I suck at this. Like, call this person. Like, they know. And I do it.
Yeah.
Right? So I think as a builder, getting out of the way and putting people with the right people, that's a big piece.
Yeah. Especially
if you want someone to succeed at early on. Because once you get to a certain level, you don't have time, dude. Right. Like, I physically don't have time to mentor 60 new agents right now. No. There's not enough hours in the day.
So that being said, you're still recruiting.
Oh, of course.
Every single week. So you got almost 400 agents existing that.
Well, we have more than that, but we had, I think, 368, right? It varies.
Sorry, 400 that actually put pen to paper, right? So how are you managing, because there's, back in the day, you had no agents. I'm recruiting.
Yeah.
And that struggle there is, so how do we get this thing going? Now you got some traction. How do you maintain bringing in new agents and also kind of being all things to your agent? So there's a lot of, parts to juggle, right? So how are you maintaining the new agent onboarding right now?
Dude, I think for me, it is us trying to find creative new ways to reach people.
Yeah.
Whether that be Facebook, whether that be Instagram, whether that be TikTok. I found when I do exactly what everyone else is doing, I get the results everyone else is getting.
Right.
It's the truth. And when I first started, as a company, we were very one-directional.
Mm-hmm.
And it's everyone does this, and it's like everyone's on the same 2-lane freeway trying to get there fast. Like, that's great. It works for a lot of people, but for me, it didn't. Mm-hmm. So I had to change the script up a little bit, and we had to start going over different areas, right? And starting to teach these people, like, hey, this is what life insurance can do for you, and making people understand. Because, dude, everyone thinks of life insurance salesmen. They think like an old dude in a suit with a briefcase.
Right. Yep.
That's what I thought, because this guy, I don't even know his name, but he used to come to my mom and dad's house. Dude wore a 3-piece suit, drove a Buick, like literally the traditional life insurance. And he was there for like 8 hours. Now I have no idea.
Was
maybe
it a brown leather briefcase?
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Was there pie charts in there?
I don't know if there were pie
Maybe.
charts, but again though, that did help though, because that small insurance policy, like, it did help.
Sure.
Whenever that my brother passed away,
Right.
so. It definitely helped.
Yeah.
And I can't remember his name, but I remember what he looked like. Yeah. And for me, like, I tell people all the time, like, insurance sales, it's boring. It's not fun. It's sexy. Like, insurance sales suck, but we make it suck less. Come talk to us. Like, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Like, we're here to make it somewhat fun to talk about. Like,
Right.
most people want to be like, man, when you die, like, it's what I'm like, hey, listen, dude, we're all going to die. Like, let's take care of it now while you're young. That way, when you get older, it's not a big deal. It's not a big burden. It's not a big expense. It's going to take 10 minutes over the phone. Sure. Like, that's my whole pitch. It's like, dude, we do it over the phone. It takes like 10 minutes to help somebody. You're going to get told no a lot.
Yep.
But if you just help, 2, 3, 5, 10 families a week, you're going to be all right. You're going to make it in the business. You're not going to wash out, because the washout rate is so high in this business. And it's because people hire people that are scared of rejection. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're lazy and you're lazy, don't do this. Like, don't do it. Like, if you're watching this podcast and you wake up and you look in the mirror every morning and you like, if your alarm goes off at 8 o'clock and every morning you don't get out of bed till 9:30, you are wasting your time trying to do this business. You're going to fail. Like, I'm just being honest with you. Yeah. Like, if you cannot hold yourself accountable, and you're not going to admit that to your wife, your husband, your upline, but you can admit it to yourself internally in your brain. You can have that mental conversation. Don't do this. Like, go do something else. But you're probably going to suck at that too. Like, I'm not trying to be mean, right? But it's the truth. People that can't hold them and police themselves, they're always going to struggle.
Sure.
Now, you can shift and create a mental focus, change. Yeah. And change habits and become that way.
But that's on you.
That's on you. That's not on me as your upline. Right. Like, I'm not going to be your life coach. Like, Now, I do have people that have struggled adapting to the amount of success in the families they're helping. They're not used to it. Those people, I will be their life coach and be like, yo, dude, let me help you. Like, let's get through this.
Right. Well, we were kind of joking earlier. You were like, talking about me talking to you or whatever. You're like, well, you call me back now because I'm doing something.
Now I'm doing something.
Yeah. But I mean, dude, how many people come in the door, they tell us everything they're going to do, right? And they expect to be treated like they've already done it. Yep. And it's not an ego. It's just more of a time. Dude, there's 25 staff that work in this, office, all these. So how much time do I have to dedicate to someone who's not putting in the effort?
And I think as an upline, you have to cut bait and move forward. Like we talked about, like if I'm in a sprint and I'm sprinting beside you and I turn around to look behind me at what's behind me, I'm slowing down.
Sure.
If you're constantly onboarding new agents and you're going to have agents that are going to say, hey, listen, I watched this podcast. I figured it out. Like if I have an agent that emails me and texts me like, hey, I've gotten all these trainings, but I need more. Mm-hmm. I'm immediately, my brain, I'm like, all right, done.
Yeah.
Go to YouTube and type it in. There's hundreds of them. No one had to tell me that. Like when I came in under Marco, he didn't have to tell me that, dude.
Right.
Like I already watched them all. Like I watched physically only of top producers, but I watched all the content. Like I memorized I had them physically memorized. I made my own phone script, and now we have them, and we had them then, but I wanted to overachieve. So I took like 6 different phone scripts and like did a mashup of what was Tyler. and what I thought would work. And when I got on the phone, it was still sort of a train wreck, but I made adjustments, and then it worked out.
Right.
You know, a lot of people said they did this business for, 6 months, a year, and sucked at it. I mean, I didn't. Like, I came out the gate swinging, and it wasn't because I was great. It's because I bought so many leads. Yeah. Like, I still sucked really bad, but I had so many massive effort. I had so many at bats. Like, I was eventually going to hit a home run.
Right.
And I tell people, because now, I'm an annuity top producer too, and people's like, dude, what's your magical I'm like, dude, there is not one. It's this exact same thing as life insurance. Yep. I get a massive amount of leads. I get told no a lot, but I'm going to get more swings at bat, so I'm going to land more home runs. Sure. Yeah. It's just a completely different avenue. And that's this business, recruiting, sales, everything. It is a numbers game. Mm-hmm. Like, you're going to go through a lot of crap before you get those gold nuggets. Absolutely. Like, it just is what it is. But if the more crap you go through, the more gold nuggets you're going to find.
We talk about the training. So Adrian, guy who built this podcast room, he's one of our IT directors. He said this. We were sharing books a few years ago. Like, check out this. It's a good personal development book. And we were just talking, and he said, if there's anything you want to learn in life, someone wrote a book on it. Yeah. Right? So you're talking about the training. I kind of would say the same thing. If there's anything you want to learn at this company, about what we do here, someone did a video on it.
Yeah. And dude, I tell people this all the time. Like, if you don't like the way that I train, that's fine.
Sure.
Go find someone that you like.
They're out there.
And I have in my, because I have like a Google Drive, right? Yeah. And we just comprised a ton of great trainings. Some of the first videos my agents watch, it has another agency branded, like the first 2 seconds. It's like got FFL, whatever their name is. Yeah. And then they start talking. I don't care because it's good training.
Right.
I mean, I could take and say the exact same thing that they said and try to make it about me, but why would I waste 3 hours of my time memorizing what somebody else said just to put my face on the video? Like, that's dumb.
Right.
Right? If they did a good job of relaying a message, give them kudos. And they're like, hey, are they on your team? No, they're not on my team, but we're all with FFL, so it works.
Because when you guys started, I don't think you were only watching Marco's videos. You just watched whatever was out there.
Marco had no videos.
Exactly.
Like, we were both babies in this industry.
Right.
I was Googling, what is a term policy? Like, I mean, right before I got started to test, like, I'm like, all right, I knew life insurance was important because of my wife, because of my brother. I knew all these things. But then I was like, I didn't know nothing about insurance. So before I started my license, I'm like, what is a term policy? What is a whole life? And dude, then you get your license, and we need to empower people that when they get their license, they are equipped to help clients.
Sure.
Now, you're going to walk in an occasional house with a banker or someone that's got a Series 7, and they may be able to walk circles around you, but they're not, for the most part, they're not filling out a form on Facebook.
Exactly. That's not
that is a very, like, rare.
Right.
And your new agent's like, well, what if I get this? And what if I get that? I'm like, dude, I don't care. Like, just go and see what happens, and call me when you have a problem, and we'll address it then.
Right.
Like, jump in the water, and I can watch Michael Phelps swim in a pool all day long. But am I going to, just from watching him, am I be able to jump in and swim without doing it myself?
Yeah, most likely not.
And even when I do, I'm still going to be like, I'm 5 foot, like 8.5. There's no way in hell I'm going to swim as fast as Michael Phelps. Right. But I'm not going to be a proficient swimmer until I jump in and start swimming myself.
Yep.
Right?
No doubt.
It's just the same thing. It's just like watching football on Sundays. Like, everyone's a great armchair quarterback, but until you actually get out there and get hit in the face and you keep going, like, you're not going to know how it feels. Absolutely. You're going to get punched in the gut. Like, it's letting people condition. And when I hire people, I almost try to talk them out of it.
Yeah.
In the process, I'm like, listen, you're going to get told no a lot. People's going to hang up on you. They're not going to want what you sell a lot of times. But you know what? All you need is 1 to 2 people a day to take interest. And then you have to get it across the end zone.
Right.
Paint a mental picture of how this is going to benefit their life, but not, more importantly, how it's going to be detrimental for them not to have it. Mm-hmm. And if you can paint that mental picture for them, you're going to be fine.
I think what you just said is I believe, the key to recruiting is go for the no. Get them to not want to do, like, well, that's counterintuitive. No, it's not, because there's no one that would have talked you out of doing this.
Yep.
There's no one that would have talked Sean out of doing this. And those are the people that you want. You don't want the guy you have to convince.
When we first started, it was like, you need to hire 50 people a month. That was the whole thing. And that, now I'm like, dude, that's dumb.
Yeah.
I would rather hire 5 people that I feel really good about, that actually I like to work with.
Absolutely.
Than just 50 people and see what happens. Right. Because this may go against, but I want to work with people that I want to work with.
Yeah.
Like,
that's how this is the sad part that you're even thinking this may go against, but that's what it should be.
I know, but so many people think you hire, and there's nothing wrong with hiring the world.
No.
Me personally, I don't want to do that.
Right.
Like, I want someone when they call, I don't roll my eyes before I answer the phone.
Exactly.
And that could sound kind of shitty to some people, but the reality is,
if
I have a dude that he annoys the heck out of me, I don't want to be tethered. And as an upline, if you're getting overrides or you're working with them, like, you need to give them some value of, like, exchange for goods and services. Like, you need to give them some value to get something in return.
Right.
And if I hate talking to someone, I'm not the guy for them.
No.
There's been a couple guys that I actually think they're pretty solid. And I'm like, look, dude, like, me and you just don't vibe. So you can either go direct to one of my downlines or you can, like, peace out, Girl Scout, and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I think that we've evolved as a company. We've learned from mistakes.
Sure.
And just from what I've seen in 3 years, we've made some mistakes, but we pivoted.
Absolutely.
We've learned from them. But that's anything, like, when you're a tree to grow, you got to prune it every now and then. Right? You got to cut some things down and then let them grow back bigger. And I think for us, we figured that out after making some mistakes.
Sure. I mean, it's like, some agents, they get a guy who quit, and it's such a bad thing. Like, it's probably a good thing.
Good thing.
It's okay.
Yeah.
This is a business. It's not a job. This is not a W-2 where, we just got to hire everyone. You're building a business. Your job is to interview, qualify, and select. Yep. Not just anyone who wants to join, come on. Yep. No. It's you want to find the right people that fit your business. Yep. And if you got to make that decision to not recruit that person, that's fine. If you got to I love that you're trying to talk them out of it.
Yeah.
Let them say no. The right guy is going to keep saying yes, no, dude, I'm good with rejection. I don't mind spending money on leads.
They're going to see the potential through
absolutely
all the negativity, because this is an emotionally taxing negative business.
Sure.
Overall, like,
absolutely,
there's a lot of negative as a dialer that you're going to experience on a daily basis. Like, you're going to get cussed at, yelled at, like
at every phase too. Down the phone, you're going to get rejections. Running appointments, you're not going to help every family. Selling policies, some are going to fall off the books. Like, at
recruiting,
every step,
you're going to have people that hang up on. Like, it never stops.
Yep.
But I think you have to get over yourself. And for me, that's why hiring high executives to run business in a lot of cases, I'm like, dude, I had one of them. I'm like, dude, I just don't think you're going to. And he's one of my good personal friends.
Yeah.
I said, I don't think you're going to be able to get over yourself enough and humble yourself, like, to get on the phones and get told to screw off 30 times, because you've been a high executive for a long time. Right. Like, are you going to be able to handle that?
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I don't think so. I'm like, well, then, I mean, this probably isn't for you.
Yeah. Which is good, because what most people do is they try to convince them that. No,
and then you ruin a friendship for no reason.
Absolutely. And then to your point, then it's the guy who you do roll your eyes every time they call, but he's your guy now.
Yeah.
Now you can't get rid of him.
Yeah.
But the best time to get rid of the agent is before they start.
Yeah. And again, there's people all over FFL that maybe will be able to work with them if you can't. So I think for us and as an agency, that's been a lot of our success, is we're just going after people that are like-minded.
Yeah.
Not saying to be shut off to people who are different, because, inclusion and diversity is great to have in our organization.
Right.
We have a lot of that.
Saying.
But I have different groups in every leg, and they mesh with these people, and then these people may have my younger guys that are good at attracting younger guys and gals, and then my older guys that sell final expense that love to get the older people to work with them, because you got a 68-year-old trying to get training from a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
Even though the 21-year-old's killing it,
right,
a lot of times we found there's lost in translation.
Sure.
So that's why it's good for you to find people and connect. You're like a conduit of people. If you're a upline, you're a conduit of people. You're trying to connect people with people. That's going to bring out the most in them. And to understand that you yourself are not always the answer. Right. Most of the time, you're not going to be the answer. But you need to be good at establishing, hey, I think these people and these people would work out well. This could be a good marriage. Let's put them together and see what happens.
Sure.
So
yeah, that's huge.
That's kind of what we've really focused on.
Yeah. Last thing, you've been Personal Hall of Fame, but you've also said, like, you need to help 1,000 families to recruit someone. But how important is it, to have that under your belt, that, hey, I know how to sell when you're recruiting agents?
I do think it's pivotal.
Yeah.
I think to have validity in this business long term, right? You have to be able to say I did it. And it's not even to say that I did it. It is in those moments, like me and you right now. You could give me a product and say, Tyler, sell me on it. And I'm going to spit a script. And it's not that I'm the greatest, but it's I've done it enough to know what hot buttons to use, what words to use to build emotion, and then at the end to build urgency and enough doubt to get them to submit an application to get an approval. And I think that that's something, again, that you can't do and you can't coach unless you've, like, I can't coach someone unless I've done it.
Right.
Now, as a new agent, you can refer people to your upline, but you really want to do that forever if you're going to build a massive agency?
No.
Right? I think it's good to, and we're fortunate with all the people that we've had that's helped 400 families and hit Hall of Fame. Now I have several people I'm very confident in that I can make, go work with Brent, go work with, with Danny, go work with John, go work with Marco, go work with Allison, like all these people that are killing it.
Yeah.
And even if they're not on my team, like Allison, like I'm like 2 levels down from her, but she'll send me agents and I'll send her agents and we'll have phone conversations and trainings and we cross train and we help people.
Right.
Because again, what I say may resonate more than someone else.
Sure. Love it, dude. Great stuff. I appreciate you coming up again.
Hey, man, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Next week, we're right back here on the Next Level Live. We'll see you.
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Next week on Tuesday at 8 a.m., we have True Talk with Tyler Adams. And on Friday at 11 a.m., we are back here on TNL with Mike DeCecco. Like, comment, and subscribe to keep up with our latest training. We'll see you all next week.